Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Amelia and today I'm going to be talking about reading for writing, which is essentially how to read books in a way that you gain more insights for your own writing and for the kinds of things that you'll be putting in your future projects. So without much further ado, I will take you through how I read Of Fire and Stars, which I think I rated 3 stars, and how I've kind of analysed it in terms of my writing. The first tip that I recommend for reading books for your writing is to annotate. Now, I annotate very simply because I don't like to put too much effort into by just using a blue pen. I will underline, I will box, I will write in the margins, like as you can see here. I've annotated in certain areas. Sometimes my comments tend to be quite snarky, but as long as I can understand them and I can see what I meant to say, I think that that's fine. It is good to have a little bit of a humorous experience reading back through your books, and I 100% endorse being a snarky little bitch while reading through books that you want to analyse. The reason why I recommend not being too fancy in terms of your supplies for annotations is just because it can bog you down to be looking for the right colour pen or searching through for the properly colour-coded highlighter and things like that. Obviously, if colour coding helps you to remember stuff, if it helps you, if you feel like it makes the experience more enjoyable, 100% you do you, it's totally okay. I personally find that just having one tool is a lot more useful for me because in that respect I can then focus more on the content of what I'm annotating and what I'm saying, and just I can read it easily because I'm using a different colour. I definitely recommend using a different colour to the colour of the text of the book. Blue is great, so I use this blue biro. It's super cheap. I have loads of them, so I'm never going to run out. And the reason why I use blue is actually from a tip that I got from another video. I will link it down below if I can remember what it is. But apparently blue is a lot more dyslexia friendly. I don't have dyslexia, but I do feel like if I ever lend my books to someone else in terms of them picking up on my annotations, I would like it to be easier for them to read. I think just generally anything that's easier to read is better. My next big recommendation is colour-coded sticky tabs. Now in this one you may notice that I'm using a different style of tabs to the ones that I've got here. I had to pick these up while on holiday because I ruined the pack that I had originally. But either way it works the same regardless of what kind of tabs that you have. I have colour-coded them so that I can flip quickly to different areas to see what I think is useful to me. So for example, if we look here, this I'm pretty sure is plot and world building, is green, so I can find this little section which has a little bit about the politics of the universe. Yellow is character and characterization, where you just talk about who is important, what you've noticed about their characterization, any important character development moments. Blue, I'm fairly sure, is sad or negative. I'm pretty sure it's negative. Now I have 2 blues, so I can have one for sad and one for negative. So here is basically where I put things that I don't like about the book, things which I didn't enjoy, which I can then flip back to and avoid in my own writing because I have a clearer idea of what I do and don't like. The next thing I want to talk about is actually most helpful when it comes to pacing and figuring out the structure of your story, and that are these little sticky notes that I've stuck in the top here. Now I got this idea from Books with Chloe. She essentially talked about in one of her vlogs putting these little post-it notes as you go through, where you can write down your current feelings on the story. Now I adapted that a little bit to how I'm feeling about the characters and essentially just general writerly stuff, whether I feel like it's got going yet, whether I feel like it's consistent so far, things like that. And then the reason why this is super helpful is because you've got one every 50 pages, which means you've divided the story up and you can figure out then how the pacing of certain moments is consistent, if it speeds up suddenly in one section of the book, if it feels odd in any area. Like you can really get in and see how it's progressing if you've got it divided into these little chunks, and you may find that there's loads and loads concentrated in 150 pages and then absolutely nothing in the first 50 pages. And I find that really, really helpful just in terms of picking up things about pacing. So that is it in terms of how to analytically annotate to read for writing and things like that. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I'm 100% willing to answer any of your queries, and I might make another follow-up video if anything changes in the way that I view this specific style of annotation that I use. With that said, that is the end of this video. Like it down below if you enjoyed it, if you thought it was helpful. Subscribe if you want to see more of my content, and I will see you all next week. Bye!